Now, obviously, the headline feature of the McLaren Artura Spider is the ability to drop the top and feel the wind in your hair, or on a slightly questionable day like today, at least the damp mist in your face. But actually, the 2025 Artura range offers so much more than just the option of a folding hardtop. There's more power, better braking, better suspension, a new and louder exhaust. The list goes on. Plus, there's a feature designed specifically to unlock your inner hooligan. But we'll get back to that one in just a moment. For now, let's hope for a little sunshine and go check it out. Prepare to breathe the rarefied air of the supercar world. The McLaren Artura Spider lists at just over 525k, or about 50 grand less than the hard-top Artura, which has also been updated for 2025 and lists at just over 477k. So either way, you're staring down the barrel of around $500,000 to climb into the new Artura, but kudos to McLaren for offering the new model's power upgrades, courtesy of a relatively straightforward software update, to owners of the current gen Artura at no extra charge. Anyway, for that spend, you get a whole heap of power and performance, of course. There's also some new safety stuff and a new launch control designed to unleash your inner hooligan. It's called the spinning wheel pull-away feature, which is essentially a burnout mode, and it allows you to light up the rear tyres and even flick through the gears as they're spinning, attracting the attention of passers-by and, no doubt, the local police. Add to that a redesigned exhaust that delivers a louder and more natural soundtrack, and it begins to become clear that the Artura wants to leave any suggestion that it is somehow a mild supercar in its rearview mirror. Elsewhere, you're riding on staggered alloys, which are 19 inches up front and 20 inches at the rear, and which are wrapped in Pirelli P0 rubber. And then there's the roof, which is a lightweight carbon fibre and composite construction operated by 8 individual e-motors. Also new in the cabin is a wireless charge pocket, while a digital dash is joined by a slightly odd-looking but definitely effective low-mounted central screen. Standard is a 5-speaker McLaren branded stereo, and the rear glass is both automatic and heated. So as is pretty par for the course with McLaren's, the Artura's exterior design is pretty much about aerodynamics rather than aesthetics, with everything you see outside either designed to help you slip through the air or stick to the road. There is, however, one fairly new part of this design, of course, because it's a Spider, and that is the roof, which takes 11 seconds to open and can be operated at speeds of up to 50 kilometers an hour, which basically means you shouldn't get caught in the rain. Elsewhere, you'll find it's all angles and alloys outside, while in the cabin, it's a nicely driver-focused experience, and I particularly love this steering wheel, which is free of buttons. It means it has one job and one job only, and I absolutely love that. Then there's this central screen, which I know looks like it's just been plonked here, but actually works seamlessly. I've had my iPhone hooked up through Apple CarPlay all day, and it's been flawless. Also new for this update is wireless charging, courtesy of this pouch at the back, and if you are a real McLaren nerd, you'll need to know that the engine start button is now papaya, the McLaren colour. Practical? Not really. But then what were you expecting? There are 2 seats, some 124 litres of luggage space in its under-bonnet boot, phone connections, and, well, that's about it. One design I do love though, and which I do think counts as a practicality perk, is the glass finish applied to the rear buttresses, which don't just look cool, but help you see out the back when peering over your shoulder. The magic of the Artura's powertrain isn't the twin turbocharged V6, but its dinner plate-sized e-motor, which adds 70 kilowatts and 225 newton meters to the total outputs. In EV mode, which lasts around 33 kilometers, that's all the power you get. But when both power sources are in use, the e-motor essentially plugs any turbo lags or power holes, delivering smooth, constant and massively ample power. How much power? Try 515 kilowatts and 720 newton meters, up some 15 kilowatts on the existing Artura, which unlocks a sprint to 100 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds, a run to 200 kilometers an hour in 8.4 seconds, and a pulse quickening sprint from a standstill to 300 kilometers an hour in 21.6 seconds. That power is fed through an 8-speed automatic and channeled to the rear tyres with the help of an e-diff, while pre-configured electric, comfort, sport and track modes arrive as standard too. There's also a heap of suspension and software enhancements, longer lasting braking, stiffer engine mounts to tighten the vehicle, faster damping, quicker gear shifts, and a broader rev range too. And you can plug the Artura in too. Taking the 7.4 kilowatt hour battery from 0 to 80% charge will take around 2.5 hours, and McLaren reckons you can expect fuel use of around 4.8 litres per 100 kilometres when both powertrains are in operation. Be warned though, there is enough magic used to fill Hogwarts when it comes to calculating that number, and you can expect that figure to likely double if driving sedately, and skyrocket if you get on Tinder terms with the accelerator. I'm going to start this drive section a little bit different for a typical supercar review, and that is because I'm going to start it by tootling along here in near silence. I'm in the Artura Spider's fully electric mode. I can hear birds chirping, I'm surrounded by greenery, and it's really like I'm driving any other EV. But of course, put it back into sport mode,
and suddenly that twin turbocharged V6 engine comes right back into play and gives me all of the power, all 515 kilowatts and 720 Newton meters, by the way. And it completely changes the nature of this car. And I actually think that's probably the coolest thing about this. This is a proper Jekyll and Hyde supercar in its most comfortable settings, whether you're in electric mode or not. It is properly comfortable. And I mean, I was sitting in traffic earlier for about 35 minutes and I wasn't having thoughts about strangling anybody, which is rare. It is properly comfortable. I mean, this is honestly a car you could live with every single day as a daily driver, and it's kind of easy to forget you're driving a supercar at all until your foot finds the accelerator. And then of course there is the flip side to that personality, the dark side, which comes out every time you activate sport or track or just get a little too aggressive with the accelerator. And suddenly you discover that despite it being kind of soft and comfortable and quiet when you want it to be, it is no less sharp, no less aggressive when you want to dial up that part of its personality either. So one of the big changes the brand made this time around is retuning that exhaust note to make it both more natural but also a little bit louder in the cabin, and you can really take advantage of that in the Spider. The exhaust note just fills this space. It sounds rich, it sounds intoxicating, and I really like it. So one of the other things I really like about this car is the steering, and in fact the steering wheel. Free of buttons, so you can just focus on the job at hand, but it is also so direct. It's as though your wrists have been attached to the front tyres. So McLaren is on a bit of a tear at the moment. We've just reviewed the 750S and that's a spectacular piece of machinery. But this car is nowhere near as aggressive as that, but it's also so much more comfortable when you want it to be too. But that doesn't mean it can't turn it on the right road either. This is really a lot of fun on any kind of twisting road or racetrack you happen to stumble across. And I don't know about you, but if I'm spending north of 500 grand on a car, I want one I can drive every day, right? And this is that supercar, something you're happy to commute to work in, and even happier when you take it for a longer drive on the weekend. So the gearbox is seamless even in its automatic mode too, but you'll be amazed at how much length you've got between the gears. This thing revs out at 8,500 before necessitating a shift, and it just gets louder and more intoxicating the higher it climbs. If you're one of those people who think electric motors have no place in a supercar, well, I challenge you to get behind the wheel of this. It is a hybrid, and it is a hell of a hybrid.
Okay, new stuff in the world of safety too. For one, there's lane monitoring, which McLaren, ever keen to maintain the purity of its drive experience, is quick to point out that you can switch off, and when you do, that it stays off until you switch it back on again. That said, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert are optional, and you're more chance at Powerball than seeing an Artura Spider crash tested by ANCAP for an official safety rating. The Artura arrives with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty as standard, while the battery is covered for 6 years or 75,000 kilometres. 5 years of roadside assistance is thrown in, as are your first 3 years of services.
McLaren's most livable offering proves that hybrid heroes have a place in the supercar stable of tomorrow. Angry and affable in near equal measure, it is utterly docile during the week and completely bonkers on the weekend.